Ja, visst gärna. Ononya. Ononya gayasa. This is corn husk. Ononya gayada ni ingesho ni. Now I'm going to make a corn husk doll. So I'm going to start by looking through the husk here, and I'm going to select a piece that I'm going to want to use, and I'm looking for a nice clear, clean looking piece. It's got to be have a little bit of flex to it too, pliability to it, and I'm going to use it for the head. I'm going to use it for the face, and I like this one, so I'm going to take it, and I'll take these other guys and just kind of set them aside for now. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to look it over, and I'm going to decide that I'll use probably about this much of it. And next I'm going to use something that comes in handy for a lot of different crafts, different things that you might be making or doing, is dental floss. And I like it because it's a good strong cord and you can get a good tight knot with it. And so I'm going to take and make this piece kind of long. Use the little cutter on there, and I've got this piece of floss, and I think for this part of it I'm going to double it because I want this, what I'm going to use it for, I want it to be really strong, and it needs to be long enough to fit through this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of husk like this, and I'm going to fold it. So I'm going to fold it over and put this piece of dental floss inside of it like that. And now I happen to just have a stick handy that I'm going to set that so it holds it that way. Now what I'm doing in the beginning here is I'm making the head of this corn husk doll, and there's a couple of different steps to it. I'm going to make sure I have a piece of dental floss ready to go for this next part, and I'm going to take a couple of the husks, and it doesn't matter what these ones look like, these ones can be your rough looking ones, and I'm just going to bunch them together like that. And I got a nice bulk of husk here that will work out good. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut them even like that. Now I'm going to take some other pieces of husk and I'm going to cut strips and peel off strips of it, maybe about this wide, like so. Not too wide. And I'm going to put and hold it like this so you can see it the way I'm holding it. And I'm going to wrap it around the top like this. Now when I start getting towards the end of it, I'm going to hold it down here and pinch it. I'll take the next one, hold it on top, wrap it around a few times, and then hold it down here. So you see the process that I'm doing has to do with really just kind of wrapping it around like that. Well, I'll take this piece and bring it down below like that, and I'm just holding it that way. Okay? Tough call. I'll give it one more. I'm gonna just give it a skinny one. Couple more, and hold it down here. Now, where I've got my fingers holding this, I'm gonna take the piece of dental floss that I've already cut, and I'm gonna wrap it like this. And use my teeth on the other end to tie it. And not only am I not only am I making a doll, I'm flossing my teeth. Oh, just kidding. But I'm going to tie it like that so it's good and tight. So I got that on there, and you get an idea of how that looks. Okay. Now I'm going to take these pieces and kind of hold them out like that. And I want to take my one that I have set up like this, and I'm going to wrap the whole thing with this. So you see how I've got that sticking out? Well, I'm going to take it, and I'll do it this way so you can see it good. Make sure my floss is at the top, like that. And now I'm going to take it and wrap it up. Now I want to make sure that's a little space so that it has room to draw itself closed. And I'm going to go right around like this and wrap this in there. By using the table, I was able to get a good even wrap. Now these pieces sticking up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie them together, and I'm going to pull it. See that? Did you see that, how that worked? I pulled it tight, and it drew it like a, just nice. So now I have a good smooth head to the doll, and we'll be able to go from there. You want to at least double knot it. Now down here, if it's still sticking out, well, tell you what, we'll use another piece. We've got some dental floss here, and I can't let it go. I can't put it down until I get it tied off underneath. But I'm going to take and wrap a piece of pus, or wrap a piece of dental floss below the head and create the neck area of the doll. So already you're starting to see it take shape. See that? And again, like anything, what do I always say? It takes a little practice. Making cornhusk dolls is, you know, not generally something that guys do, but I watched. My mom is a master artist at making cornhusk dolls. And I remember when I was a little kid, she used to make pairs of cornhusk dolls, and she would put clothes on them and sew yarn for hair on the dolls and sell them. And that's how she would get money. And you know, I was lucky my grandma was still alive, and my grandma also, my grandma Lay in Newtown, she was a master doll maker, and I believe some of hers are in museums. And she would go all out and make the dolls and make little clothes for them and little moccasins and everything. We're not going to get that detailed today, but this will give you a good strong foundation. Now what I'm doing is, you see, I'm ripping this right up to where the head starts. Okay, like that. So now I'm just going to set that there, and for the next piece we're going to take and make some arms. But before we do that, we want to be smart and get our supplies ready. I'm going to make a piece of floss, maybe about that long. Make 2 of them. And have them on standby ready so that when I need them, I'll be all set to go. Now, we'll set these guys over here. And I'm going to take another piece of husk like this, and I'm going to take it. It's got that little piece on there. I'm going to roll it up. So we'll start on one end and start rolling it like this. And I want to roll it so that it's nice and tight as I can get it. And by twisting it and rolling it, I'm going to wind up with a piece that I'm going to use as the arm for that doll. So you see what I'm doing. And it's just by this process of rolling it up. Now some dolls, you can pose them in different ways, doing different things, which is nice. And in order to do that, you would put a piece of wire inside of here and cut it the right length. Okay, now I've got that rolled up pretty good. So I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to size it because we don't want the arms too long or too short. So I'm going to put it in here. I'm not going to guess about how long I want to make the arms. I'm going to say, probably about this long where my fingers are and where I'm still holding it tight. Now the pieces of floss that we cut already, I'm going to take one and tie off this side of it. And those, you can't really see it, but what I'm tying it with, what I'm using to tie the other end with is my teeth. So I'm putting this end in my mouth and I'm able to pull it tight while I'm still holding it with both hands. And we got that side done. Now this side is a little bit fatter, and we're going to take our other piece of floss here to double check the wrap of it here. I don't want this piece flapping out, so I'm going to try to wrap it hard like that. We're going to go towards the end. And we'll wrap this side. So now you see how that works. And now we've got arms that we can add to it, like this. And we'll just take and trim off that little extra there. And we'll trim off this little extra. Like so. And it's up to you how you want to cut this. Maybe you can cut it straight across. We want to cut it so that it's going to look uniform, but this one I'm going to cut at an angle. See that? So maybe it gives it more of a look like a hand. I don't know. It's up to you. But sometimes I think every little bit helps. So there we have the arms, and we measured it, so it should be a good size. Now, it used to be that long time ago, there was a girl, and you notice that when we make the corn husk dolls, we don't have faces on them. So I'm going to talk about that story. And you know, one version of the story says there was a girl, a young girl, who was very beautiful. And she lived in those times when she was the type that was a little bit, I don't know how you would say it, maybe she's conceited, you know. She's the type that she's pretty and she knows it, and was kind of maybe a little snotty, you know. Okay, I'm gonna just to be safe, just to secure it more, I'm gonna take a little piece of floss like that. I'm gonna put it down below this way. And tie it. Holding the arms up like that underneath. Now, this beautiful girl, you know, she kind of got a little bit of an attitude. And her attitude was that, you know, people complimented her, and it kind of went to her head. And, you know, people would actually come from different villages to see this beautiful girl. Okay, I got this little tag piece sticking out. We'll fix that. I'm just gonna take it and snip it. So they'd come and see her and say, oh yeah, she's beautiful. And her mother was having trouble with her because she got to the point where she didn't think she had to do chores. And her mother would ask her to do something or tell her to do something. Oh, go do this or go do that. And she said, I'm too beautiful to go do that. I don't want to do it. And hurt her mother's feelings, and you know, it was not a good way to be. And back in those days, there was a lot that you had to do. There was a lot that had to be done just to survive. And here she wasn't helping out, and it was not a good thing for her family that she got that way. Well, it happened that what I'm doing is I'm getting ready for the next step here. I'm cutting some more dental floss, and I got a couple of more strands of it here. And I'm also taking and I'm cutting some strips about this wide. I'm going to do about 4 to 6 of those, and we'll see how many I need. I might not need them all. But anyways, back in that time, life was hard and everybody had to kind of pull their own weight. And the beautiful girl would go down by the water, and she wouldn't worry about getting water, but she would just go there and look at herself and look at her reflection and being lazy. And while she was there doing that, thinking how beautiful she is, an owl flew close to her and landed close to where she was sitting. And this O'owa warned her and says, I've been sent here. And he spoke, which was odd enough, but he spoke to the girl and he told her and warned her that what she was doing is not good, and that Songwa Janokda'o, our creator, gave everybody certain gifts, and that we should use our gifts to help people and not make people feel bad or